out to the system, but more importantly because it involves an urgent need that most of us have had at one time or another, and how to satisfy it. We're talking about public restrooms, why they're never around when you need them most. That's one of the great mysteries of life. And now John Stossel has solved it, at least in one instance. If you've been a tourist with nowhere to go, you're about to find out why.
New York City. What a great place to visit. There's so much to see. But after you've taken in the sights for a while, you'll realize you have a problem finding a bathroom. Many stores won't let you use theirs.
You're just coming in for the day. You have nowhere to go to the bathroom. You're not staying at a hotel.
You can't just go into a fast food or any kind of restaurant because the first thing they say, if you're not buying anything, you can't use the bathroom.
Now, tourists who know their way around may be able to sneak into a hotel, but this doesn't work for everyone.
If they're dressed really sharp, they can get in there maybe, but other than that, they won't let you in.
Drew Bradley says he and his fellow carriage drivers use the nearby bushes.
There's more people go to the bathroom in the park than anything else.
You can't even go in the subways. I think all the restrooms are permanently closed.
Well, not all of them, just most of them. That's why you see scenes like this. But some are still open, in the subways and in other public places like Grand Central Station. Of course, even some police officers don't think tourists should come in here.
I wouldn't recommend them going to any public bathrooms or anything.
They're awful.
Terrible.
They are just disgusting.
I think you have to take your life in your hands if you walk in there.
Well, we're not animals, you know. You got to have some kind of facility for the public.
Of course, isn't this a problem in every big city? Actually, no, it isn't. Millions of people visit Paris, for example. And although just 10 years ago these streets reeked of urine, today, if nature calls while you're near, say, the Eiffel Tower, you can just step over to this little building, put in a coin worth about a quarter, and you have access to a clean public restroom. In fact, there are thousands of these public toilets in more than 400 different European cities, all clean, safe, and easily accessible. So why not try this in America? Well, after New York City was sued by a homeless organization, it did try to bring these to America. But then it ran into American rules. First, city lawyers said, you can't bring pay toilets here. They're illegal in New York State. They discriminate against women. Why? Because women have to use stalls and men don't. In addition, 13 separate city agencies must grant approval before anything can be built. These are tough hurdles. But the city really wanted those toilets, so it got a waiver to the pay toilet law. And after more than a year of negotiations, the 13 separate agencies were willing to approve not permanent installation, but at least a 4-month tryout. A French company, J.C. Decaux, installed its toilets at 3 different sites. At first, New Yorkers seemed a little stunned by them.
Excuse me.
The kiosks are fully automated. All you do is put in a quarter, the door slides open, and then when it senses your weight on the floor, slides closed again. Inside, they have, well, everything you need. Toilet, mirror, hook if you want to hang your coat, toilet paper, waste paper container. And look at this. When you want to wash your hands, you just stick your hands in here and automatically soapy water comes out. Then clear water to rinse, and then hot air to dry your hands. It's a lot nicer than most gas stations I've been in. In fact, most everyone we talk to about these toilets loves them.
I love them. Yeah. Love them. I've been walking for blocks trying to find one.
A lot of people are fascinated. I've seen a lot of people just come by and stand and take pictures all day long, you know? These are about the cleanest toilets in the metropolitan area.
And how do they stay clean? Well, they actually clean themselves. When the door closes behind you, the toilet seat withdraws into the wall, where it's steam cleaned and disinfected. While that's happening, the floor's cleaned by jets of water that shoot across it.
This is fantastic stuff. There'd be lines of people here waiting to use the bathroom, and it's so clean.
Clean, convenient, and they won't cost New York City a penny. Deco will recover its investment by selling the kiosk's advertising space.
This is perfect. This is charming.
Now you'd think with all those compliments, all this good news, that would be enough to convince everyone that these things are great and should stay. But no, in America in the 90s, seldom is anything that simple.
I think these toilets are being used as an excuse to undermine the rights of people with disabilities.
Yeah, I think
Several organizations for the disabled say they'll sue because there won't be enough wheelchair-accessible toilets.
and we will win because we're right.
To comply with America's new disabilities law, Deco installed bigger wheelchair-accessible bathrooms near each regular kiosk. However, during the 4-month test period, the standard kiosks were used 400 times a day. The units for the disabled, only 10 times a day. So for future construction, New York City proposed there be only one wheelchair-accessible bathroom for every, say, 6 regular kiosks. Not good enough, say the protesters.
And we think it's outrageous.
Ruth Lowenkran is one of their lawyers.
The law definitely mandates that each piece of construction be accessible to persons with disabilities.
Why not build them all like this and make the disabled people happy?
Look at the size here. I mean, you can imagine easily what could happen in a city like New York.
The company's CEO, Jean-Francois Deco, says he tried letting everyone use big wheelchair-accessible bathrooms as an experiment in London.
This was a complete disaster. We had homeless people sleeping every night inside, blocking the door. The bar was vandalized very frequently. All the special fixtures were destroyed all the time. And the biggest problem was the misuse for sex, drugs.
In 2 years, London gave up on the experiment.
Mr. Deco is a brilliant manufacturer, and we rely on
He says he
fact-
can't do it. He tried it in London. He can't make
I
them
don't
safe.
think he said that.
Disabled people say if you wanted to, you could make it work.
No, I mean, that's not possible. Someone should listen and should trust what the company has experienced over the last 10 years.
In America, says Deco, so many more people are involved in the approval process. At one point, he had to stop construction while archaeologists examined bones that were dug up at one of the sites.
They took off the bones from this place, and they are still making surveys. So I don't
So
have
you had to
the time.
save all the dirt.
Yeah.
This doesn't surprise you?
Welcome to America.
At a news conference, a New York deputy mayor says the toilet experiment has been a huge success.
Over 40,000 people, New Yorkers and visitors to the city, use these 3 facilities, and we're now prepared to start the process, which will enable
Oh
us
yes,
to
the
have these
process. New York wants many more toilets installed, but to get legal permission may take years. In the meantime, the toilets must be taken away.
The city is very funny. Whenever they have something that really works, they take it away.
It's a very shame. I hate to see it go, you know? We need them in the city. We need them everywhere.
No one knows if they'll ever return to the city. The disability issue is just one of many hurdles. The Transportation Department has a 100-page contract that must be worked out. The Art Commission must approve the toilet's aesthetic merits, and so on. Endless mazes of rules exist everywhere. 3 years after the San Francisco earthquake did so much damage to the Embarcadero Freeway that it had to be torn down, the Embarcadero still has not been rebuilt because government agencies can't agree on the building rules. The president of a think tank that supports limited government says America has just too many rules.
Who does that hurt? It hurts the homeless, it hurts tourists, it hurts just people walking down the streets of New York. Why should they be denied the freedom to be able to use a toilet if it can be provided at a cost which is not expensive? It's ridiculous. It's not the way America was built. Who does it help? It helps the bureaucrats. The more rules placed on entrepreneurs who are thinking about starting a business, they are not going to start business. Why would they? It's too expensive. It takes too long. You just won't do it because the hoops are too much.
Well, you probably have strong opinions about this, and so do we. And Hugh and I will be back to discuss this with John. Just a moment. Stay with us.
Feels good, too. This is how it's meant to be. A friendly smile. train could change how you look at travel. This is the way. Take a look at the train today.
Well, we're still undecided about where does it stand now, John? Will New York have these public restrooms?
I think eventually, now it basically stands nowhere. At the time they held that press conference where the politicians said how great these toilets were, they proudly said they were going to fast-track the process. Instead of the 4 years it might normally take, it was going to take just 1 year, as if that's a good thing. But now that even that's not going to happen, they can't even agree what people should bid on. So I don't know when this might happen.
Is this only toilets, or does it have to do with other rules of other,
Everywhere there are these crazy rules. Not far from my house, there's a high school that built a very expensive swimming pool. They can't use it because the word feet is abbreviated.
To FT?
As in 4 feet
what's
deep.
What's wrong with just saying FT abbreviated?
Nothing, but it's against some rule. You have to spell out the word foot. And it's in the tile. They can't. The pool sits empty.
Is it the fact that maybe people just don't want restrooms in the street? I mean, is it what is that, NIMBY? Not in my backyard?
Not in my backyard. I think we've gone beyond NIMBY now in America. We've gone to banana.
What does banana
which is
stand for?
build absolutely nothing anywhere near anybody.
Say it again. I interrupted you.
Build absolutely nothing anywhere near anybody. And individually, it's funny.
We're bogging down to a stop.
Collectively, it cripples the economy.
Yeah, well, thank you, John. We'll be back in a moment.
Do you know the tax laws?
I have